Hey everyone.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are here. It's happening. Well, not much is happening. We're just here to chill. All
It's
right. So
almost happening. It's
it's
happening
almost happening.
tomorrow.
It's happening tomorrow. Yes. Yeah. All right. So, our um, other partner in crime is here. Ed, you just hopped on. I'm going to add you in. There you go. All
Hello,
right.
hello.
We stalled just long enough for Ed.
It was all part of the plan.
Much appreciated.
Oh, good
All right,
one.
folks. So happy Tuesday, wherever you might be joining us from. This is going to be a sneak peek because we don't want to give out all the hot new bits and all the cool new things, but just get you a little excited about what's coming out tomorrow. Well, actually, if you are curious enough, if you poke around, things are out, what we're about to show you, but it's not officially out. So let's. How about you folks? How do you folks feel about me kicking things off? Just uh, I pulled out a few things that we can talk about without giving away our big surprises. So give me a second here to move my windows around so I can share screen. Where are my buttons? You don't want all the buttons.
On like a side note, do you all have a protein powder you prefer? Because this is not hitting it at all.
I have never found one that didn't taste a little bit like sand.
Oh.
So
That is not heartfelt, warming.
sorry, man.
So how are you not going to spoil things, Sam? I'm very curious to see.
I know. I'm just trying to show the non-shiny bits, and hold off on the shiny bits until we get to the release actual webinars, which we'll talk about. But our good friend Raptime is here. Hi, Cindy. You're obligated to be here, so
It doesn't count. Yeah.
good to see you. It doesn't count, but still good to see you. No, actually, all of us are very excited to be able to see our colleagues and work people in person. A lot of the engineering that you see happening for Telerik and Kendo UI, all of that happens in Sofia, Bulgaria, and all of us are heading out there next week for DevReach. So we are very excited. And actually, on that note, I should probably bring that up. Let's see. Can you
And
see
it
my
is not
tabs?
too late if you're in the area or
Yeah.
could be. And I actually have a promo code you can use. I will put it in for 25% off a ticket.
Please do. Please do.
Seriously, the speaker lineup is so good. The food
So
is
good.
going to be.
Take out the four of us, otherwise it's awesome.
Hold on. Did you say the food? Because I want to hear more about the food.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
we
what-
have.
Food is going to be amazing.
Oh,
The food is
apparently,
good?
if you're on the tubes, you can't see that. So there's my promo code. It's just my name after DevReach, and it's all snake cased. I don't think caps matter, but Cindy, you should definitely let me know if caps matter. But I don't think it matters. No, we're just planning on having some special Bulgarian foods, some fun snacks and meals throughout the day. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. But I'm like I don't know how to stop thinking about food like ever. So
No, it's okay. We just call
Rocky
it
is a
Me
food,
too.
right, Sam?
Yeah, it very much is.
So if you call it a foodie, then it's okay.
that's.
Now you're a connoisseur.
So no, please come hang out with us. The ticket is already like priced super low to try and like get as many people who can be make as accessible as possible to as many people. But yes, that's a 25% off code. Please come see us. We want to see you. I'm heading out Sunday. When are you all heading out?
Sunday as well.
Sunday.
So what's going to be fun is one, we have a super cool venue. We have been there in the past, Sofia Event Center. It's amazing. We have decked it up to fit some of the needs of what or how we want to present some content. So it's going to be amazing. This is where all of us are going to be. Plus, we are going to hang out at our offices in Sofia. So a lot of friends all over Eastern Europe come and join us. So if you are in the area, please come and join. So DevReach is happening next week.
I still need more info about this food.
Yeah.
What do we have? What is it?
There's
What's the big
so-
surprise?
there's-
Planitza?
Oh,
Do
I
we have
personally
that?
was not the food responsible person, but they were,
Who is?
I just, I think pretty sure Raptime in the chat could fill us in with some,
Cindy.
but maybe it's
Okay.
secrets. I don't.
No, but this is just a teaser. We're not giving the big stuff away, right? It's the whole
I
point
thought that
of
was
this
the
stream.
release. We were.
I
not
was pretty sure
giving
I was
away
gonna give everything away today, so I don't know what's wrong with Sam.
I understand if we can't talk about the big component we just dropped for
Wait,
DevCraft, but
wait.
Okay.
What did you drop?
Well, I thought
I
we were
dropped
talking about
something,
food.
but she dropped it last. She dropped it last time, so maybe yours is different than what I'm dropping. I feel like we should all just share the.
I know. But why are we keeping food secrets? This isn't. No, let's not do
Okay.
that.
Once we are there in Sofia, I can take over the food responsibilities. Okay, I will never disappoint you. Okay,
I
so you have my word.
Genuinely trust you.
Oh,
Like,
is this because of the barbecue?
I have eaten out at places that Sam has recommended enough over the last 2 years at various conferences that Sam's like, this is good. I'm in. Let's do it.
I'm a bigger foodie than you, Alyssa.
Oh
I also
yeah.
keep thinking about food all the time.
I feel like I can't be a foodie because that would entail being good at it. I just think about it a lot.
Listen,
Oh no, I'm not good. I just like to eat. Who doesn't?
Until you win MasterChef, Sam, you can't take the title from me. So
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna say that.
Here we go.
'cause,
You could be the biggest chef in the world, but I'm good at eating.
I want you
can't
all to
take that
know,
away from me.
I started HelloFresh this week, and I
Oh.
feel, I don't know if y'all seen that meme where like the guy's making ramen and then he like puts an egg on top and he's like, I am chef now, right? Like I feel like that with these HelloFresh meals because I'm like, I just chopped cilantro. Look at me. I am chef now, Ed. Watch out.
Master Chef, here we come.
Oh my god, he just changed his headline. That's too funny.
Oh
Do you
my
guys
God.
have, before we like leave this topic, is there anything you're looking forward to as far as topics at DevReach? Because there's a lot of cool like
There's a lot.
AI type talks. There's some
Yeah.
cool people from the Microsoft team that are going to be talking about what's coming up in .NET 8 and Maui and mobile and all that cool stuff that I'm looking forward to. I'm going to be talking about as much as I can talk about what's going on with Angular because there's some secrets coming down the pipeline, but there's just so much. Does anybody else have something they can highlight that they're? Oh my god, Ed!
Oh, it's not taking business today.
Oh.
So I'm all in for the tech things, but at DevReach we also try to be including everyone. So a lot of topics about AI and accessibility and design thinking. I always like, and not just DevReach, any conference. Like I like to go in and sit at a session for which I have no clue. Like it's just complete new stuff to me, and that helps us open our minds. So there's going to be a lot of non-technical stuff as well. Different types of diversity and ethics of AI and software. So good stuff. Oh, Fullschnabel is here. Hey,
Really? Where? I didn't see
Fullschnabel, are we going to see you at DevReach? You better be coming.
Where?
If not,
guessing
we'll make it happen for you to come.
Hmm.
Because you
Will
are.
Will
you
you
are
be
Norway,
near
right?
Sofia, Bulgaria next week? Is really the biggest question. Yeah, what's up with the butcher's apron?
Yeah.
Butcher's apron.
What's up with that, eh?
This is a Master Chef apron.
Ed-
You know how you get one of these?
Oh my
You
God.
win Master
By
Chef?
winning, like how many times do you need to say that you have won?
Wait. Kathryn. I'm pretty sure I know an embroiderer. I'm pretty sure I can have us all.
We could just all get Master Chef.
Now do you know, Ed? How we get
Those are
one?
trademarked, by the way.
Who's catching us?
Oh, listen, I've been told by the App Store that many things are trademarked. And yet I
Hasn't
still
slowed her down one bit.
Like My Little Itty Bitty Horses.
listen. I need to know the line because I'm going to get that thing shipped. It's my Angular app. It's My Little Pony themed, but I need to know that line that people because people do it right. Like they're like, "Oh, it's not My
Yeah.
Little Pony. Look, she has no water. Like
They're pocket-sized horses.
So I'm gonna figure it out. One day she'll live.
Well, there's also parody law, though, right? Sorry, I'll let us actually talk about real.
Parody
go
law. I need to look that up, Kathryn. And also, Ed, do you own an actual cleaver? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Come back to me when you have the bake-off apron, and we'll talk.
Oh my God, Ed, there would be some hero worship because like that tent is so magical. That is all. I'll say.
I'm not as much of a baker.
No, I'm not either.
It's an exact science.
I hear those are
It's
different.
very-
I appreciate the science, but I'm more of a like, this smells good. Let's add that. Like,
Yep. Ed and me are very much like it's too much of a science. Like it's a black box. Like I'm putting something in, I just would not know what comes out of it. So I would much rather taste
I
it.
have made fondant though. I have done that.
It's the worst part of baking.
Oh.
Fondant.
Oh, I hate fondant. Are we too small like this? Because I was like, every time we pop up
No, it's
somebody's
good.
beautiful comment, on our faces.
Yeah, you're hiding Ed, but that was intentional to hide Ed.
Yeah, nobody wants to see. That's rare.
It's like, have you seen the Monsters Inc. thing where the sticker is always right in front of him?
Yeah.
All right, people, let's unpack what we cannot unpack today because that's coming up tomorrow. But here's a quick sneak peek, okay? So if you use anything from us, mostly from the Telerik Kendo UI, Fiddler, testing, reporting side of the family, this is kind of how we operate. So each year, and this might change a little bit next year, but mostly we have 3 major releases every year. So we call them R1, 2, and 3. Pretty simple. So R3 is actually out. Like if you are, careful enough to, look around at NPM and NuGet packages and docs, it's out because the engineering teams are hands off as of last week. Everything is done and sealed, but we have not made the announcements yet because we are separating or just giving ourselves a little bit more time. So the official so-called marketing release is coming up tomorrow. That's when you see all of the blog posts go out for the things. We have a nice banner ticker downstairs, down the bottom.
Because I don't want people to miss it because we'll all be like doing the bits. This one I think is for Kendo UI, and then I'll put up the ticker for the boys. Are you tomorrow?
No, that's tomorrow. That's you.
Right. Well, we're tomorrow. I think you're the 19th.
We are the 19th.
So there's the link for the Telerik one, and then I'll be alternating with the Kendo UI one.
Yeah. So if you head out to just Telerik.com, you're going to see this yellow banner on top. That's going to take you to exactly the page that I was on. So this is our R3 release. And if you want to know what's in it, what are some of the things that our engineering teams have cooked up, all of that is coming up this week. So we're going to start tomorrow with the Kendo UI webinar. That's Alyssa, Kathryn, and who else?
I believe we have from the Vue team. Is it Common? Who was it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
And I will be covering Angular and jQuery, and Kathryn will be covering React.
Sweet.
React and design.
So,
and design.
Sorry. And design.
There's exciting theme builder stuff that we have to share.
Right.
All right, so all of you JavaScript cool kids, come and hang out tomorrow. And then once you feel old enough, you can come and hang out with Ed and me on Thursday. Because that's our .NET day, where we talk about all things web, desktop, and mobile with .NET. And you're stuck with Ed and me and nobody else. Because nobody else wants to hang out with just Ed.
No, I've tried, and they kicked me. They were like, you talk too much, too many questions.
Wow.
No, it wasn't you who said that. The chat said that. They were like, we want Ed and Sam back.
we have a certain niche audience, They don't like young people. It's just they're stuck in their ways, just like Ed and me. Yep. So that's going to be Thursday. And then Friday, we come back and talk about things that are important for enterprise workflows. That's reporting, a little bit of testing, mocking, and Fiddler for network debugging. So that's our plan for the week. And this is the one that you're on right now, which is our release party, because we actually cannot have a party without it going out. But we are just here for a sneak peek because we love you in the chat room. We just like to hang out sometimes and celebrate how big of a chef Ed is. So that's why we're here. And we're going to have a few more folks join us for the webinars. That's what's listed. But yeah.
That was funny, Sam. That was funny.
Okay, so going back to just a couple of things that I could pull out, because we don't actually want to share our official slide decks, because that's the 1 or 3 days of the year where I actually have to put on a regular dress shirt and I put some gel on my hair.
So do you really?
You dress
I
up?
do.
I dressed up once.
Shirt.
When I first joined the company, I showed up for a webinar and I had on a branded my little blazer over a t-shirt even. So I wasn't crazy. I was doing the Dr. House kind of look. And someone was like, please take that blazer off.
You're overdressed.
I think it was Carl because you were making us look bad. And he was like, if you set the bar, we can't undo the bar.
Everyone ganged up against me and was like, just t-shirts from now on, please. Calm it down.
Did someone say blazer?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Now, I will say this, like I ditched my hat for just the webinars. For
Really?
everything else, yep. I ditched
Wow,
my hat.
that's some dedication.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, now while you do see us covering, the major releases, just so you all understand, there are things we are doing continuously. So for things like Angular, React, I'm sure like Kathryn and Alyssa kind of laugh at Ed and me because like we are
I'm gonna
stuck
wear
on
this
the big
for the
releases.
webinar.
Oh yeah, but we are shipping
I
things
think it's an improvement.
throughout the year. Yeah.
Thank you.
So a lot of the web stuff, it ships almost every 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And some of the bigger ones are a little bit more spaced out, but we try to bring everything together. So when we cover the big releases, we're essentially covering what's happened in the last 2 to 3 months, or not just what's happening on that release. So all of the bits are essentially out right now. Our 3 bits for Angular, React, and Vue, they're up on NPM. The .NET stuff, that's up on NuGet packages. So if you are curious enough, and if you want to live on the bleeding edge, you can go get the hot bits right now. Every release, we also do have some themes, which are essentially what we are trying to enable developers to do. So, modernization is big on everybody's mind, especially in the .NET space, where we are seeing, regular annual updates of .NET. Some of them have long-term support. So a lot of our customers are thinking about migration and modernization. But overall, if you look at Telerik and Kendo UI all together, we are trying to make sure that developers have all the ammunition to be productive. And it's not just developers. So Kathryn and the team has worked a lot on the design front. So we're trying to enable that handoff, or rather not have a bridge between developers and designers. So enable some of that with your design thinking. Documentation is big on our minds, because if you're struggling to get something done, that's not good. So, before we put bits out, we have to make sure the documentation to support those bits is out. So am I missing out saying anything here? Complete silence. Like I'm such a master chef at covering the overall theme. Like I leave no stone unturned. That's it. Like one paragraph and I'm done. This is
You
all that
nailed
we're
it.
doing.
Yeah.
On the .NET stuff, Ed and me are pretty excited. So .NET 8 is coming out this November. That's our annual cadence of .NET releases. And if you are paying attention to the timelines, we are at release candidate level. So they do have a .NET 8 release, which has a go live license, so people can build production apps with them. And RC2 just came out, I think a week back, and we might have one more RC3, and then we are off to November. So be assured that when .NET 8 is released, all of your Telerik bits that depend on .NET 8 will have .NET 8 support. We already support it for all of the RC bits. We're just going to be polishing things up and working with Microsoft engineering teams to make sure everything is good. All right, so this is all I could pull out from the slides without actually giving away our slides. But let's talk through some of the things that we can talk about, because the docs are actually live. So how do we want to do this, folks? Do you want .NET first or JavaScript first?
I say
Either
we roll
way.
a d20 for it.
A what?
For 2 options, we're gonna roll a d20.
Odds and evens, right? Yeah.
Just feels like a very complicated way to flip a coin.
I'm just no one else, but I can come up with a system that's gonna help us in this situation of dilemma.
You have to fill Sam in on what a D20 is before
Yeah,
we can
I'm
move
old.
past this.
Yes, please do.
A 20-sided dice. There's no way you don't know what a d20 is, Sam.
I
Just
do not.
lost geek cred like so hard right
Oh my
there.
god.
I do not.
It's
It's
just
a
a
die with 20
20-sided
sides.
dice. So you like roll it and you got 20 options. Although, Kathryn, they're like 1 base, not 0 base, right? So it actually
Wait,
okay.
like there's not a 0 on a d20 is what you're
Okay.
saying.
Yes.
That is correct. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Yep.
Do not make me Bing things. It does not end well.
Can't be good for anyone. We
Well,
do
you're-
have a vote for JavaScript first, though, in the chat.
Excellent.
All right, okay. I don't know what .NET. I
From
feel Foodschnapple
one-
is trying to pull your leg here, but okay.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Vote for JavaScript is a vote for JavaScript.
That's it. Can Ed and me answer this one thing though before we move
Oh,
over to
yeah,
JavaScript?
absolutely.
.NET. Okay, so Foodschnapple, this is let's just say heavily debated. Alyssa, can you switch us to a mode where we can see Ed's beautiful face here? I feel like we keep hiding him. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so this is hotly debated because long-term support, LTS, essentially is how long enterprises can comfortably depend on a .NET release to be supported officially. Now, just because it's falling out of support doesn't mean it's dying. It's just how long can they have official support, because enterprise support is important for the
But why are we
stability of
asking about
.NET.
6? Because 8 is coming out. So shouldn't we be asking about LTS for 7?
No, because there are enterprises who are on .NET 4 and .NET 5 and .NET 6. So .NET
So
6
is there
was
like
a
a
big
cadence
release.
of like every single year
No.
a new one gets?
Every single year you get a new .NET, but every second or third year you get what's called an LTS. So what Foolish Novel is asking, .NET 6 was 2 years back, right? So that had an LTS, and that I think was 3 years. So what is debated is how long should an LTS be? Right now it's about 3 years. So every 3 years. So if you move to .NET 6 2 years back, you have another year of support. And then, they're, considering whether the LTS badge should be for 3 years or 5 years. But right now it's 3.
But LTS just means what? The team is supporting it?
.NET is officially supported, long-term support. So
what
even
does support mean?
So you can pick up your phone, call somebody at Microsoft to say, this is broken in .NET. They
Shut up. That's
try
not
to
a real
fix it for you.
thing. Really?
Yeah, just like our support. Like
I love
you
how
can-
JavaScript folks react to these things.
Alyssa's about to blow up somebody's phone.
Wow. The
Like, we
idea
have
is-
that too, but we have to submit pull requests on our own problems to get them fixed.
Oh no, this is an every man for himself kind of thing. That doesn't work. It's a bummer. You should.
Or
write
you just
something-
create an issue on GitHub, you know? Like,
Okay, so GitHub
Pray.
issues, it's not your emotional support system. You have to have official support to be able to dig into issues that you're having. So that's what the LTS
it's a very
thing means.
foreign, at least from my side of the JavaScript world, because when I joined the team like 6 years ago, they were telling me all of like DevCraft and what it includes. And one of the big things that people love is the support. And I'm like, but we have docs. Can't they just Google it? And they're like, no, people like to like get on the phone and talk to somebody.
'Cause you
And
need-
I was
you
like,
need- when
about
you're
their
upset-
code? Like what? Like what?
You need a place to vent, right? You need to pick up the phone and yell. So that's what it means. No, essentially, so if you're stuck doing something that is not working for you, support essentially means some engineer is going to come in and say, hey, can you give us a repro? So a reproduction of the issue that you're having without showing me any of your intellectual property. Then folks from .NET team, folks from our teams are going to look into it. That's essentially what support means.
Okay.
So
So
LTS
then
for .NET.
after that, people still use it?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Stack Overflow for grown-ups.
I know. I was like,
Pretty much.
in my head, literally, Kathryn, I was like, so basically Stack Overflow? Like,
Yeah. So people still use it even after support has ended. People are still using Windows, whatever, 8, even after things are done. Silverlight, we still support Silverlight customers, even if, Silverlight has fallen off support for quite some time now. It's dead many years over. But just because something's official support is ending doesn't mean it's actually ending. You can still keep using it as long as it's working for you. Just know that you don't have a person to yell at once support falls off.
what is WinXP?
Windows XP, that was the one that came after Windows 2000, and it was very stable, so people used it forever. It's funny when you look
Seems
at
like, in fact, I'm still running it. So
if you look at like really old school like train kiosks or old legacy systems, sometimes you'll see older Windows things, or sometimes like older Linux versions that's running some of those systems.
They also made a big design change between XP and Vista, and a lot of people didn't
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
it wasn't a good change.
I don't want to necessarily pass judgment on it. It's more that it was significantly different, especially like the home menu
move my
and the
cheese
navigation.
moment.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
And so a lot of people felt like unsettled and were like, ugh.
And Windows has a history of striking gold every other release. So the releases in between people hate, and then they're okay with the next one. So
Is that
there's
intentional?
I don't
can't
know.
imagine.
There's a whole joke about Windows like 7, 8, 9. So there's
Yeah.
no Windows 9 because like 8
Right.
was so bad that let's just jump to 10 and not risk eating anybody up. So yeah.
The same is actually weirdly true of Star Trek movies. Every other one is good.
Wait, every other, starting at the first one being good? Like-
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was like,
No.
which ones are?
Depends who you ask.
Okay, JavaScript, you go.
Oh, fuel burn. I'm not threatened by this at all. I see the future, and it is so Angular filled. You're all going to be disgusted. So it's
No, like, do you mean like Angular before the big breakover? Is that what you're calling legacy, or just Angular in general?
Or like Angular JS.
Okay,
Oh, is that what you meant? What did you say? Breakover? What's a breakover?
like from
I
Angular
think-
2, Angular
I think
JS.
Phil was just making a joke. Like no one uses
About
actual
Angular
He's just
Angular.
sassing.
in
He's just
particular,
sassing.
I think he's just sassing you. I don't think there's.
It's not hard to do. Kathryn, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
Either way, roll a d20.
Okay, excellent. I shall. All right, ready? I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna roll a d20.
Oh, we're
Share
actually
screen.
gonna roll die.
Chrome tab. Sure, we'll do the window, and we'll do everything. My entire screen sounds good. You can see everything. I have no secrets from my beauties. Okay. D20 roll. Kathryn, you be evens or odds?
I'll be evens.
Excellent. It's an 11, so I go first.
It's all you.
I think that's how that math works. All right. Welcome, my darlings. We're going to be talking for a hot second about Angular. In the release webinar, I will cover.
Whoa.
I know.
Inception.
I know.
Thank you.
Calm yourself. In the release, I'll be talking about Angular and jQuery. I can cover jQuery, but I'll probably do that after Kathryn if there's time, because I am more prepped on the Angular bits. But I didn't know. Kathryn, are you keeping secrets? I didn't know we weren't supposed to talk about
No.
certain things.
I'm not gonna-
So I
Nothing's
definitely. Okay. We got to get rid of the feedback bubble. So we got a new tidbit. I'm actually going to do this maybe, and then we'll hide this bar so that you can all see it. We got a new spreadsheet component, which I'm really excited about. Kathryn, you got this one last release in React?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ed, is this the one you were talking about? Because you were like, we all got a component, and I was like, did everyone get this? Okay, cool.
We've just had it for years, if I may just say.
Depends.
I love
Depends
the
on the
like
product.
little
but no.
sibling rivalry that happens with the four of us when we all get on. It's like, oh, the spreadsheet. I've had that.
Yeah, that's not
Old
a
news.
no big deal. Let's check out the source. So it's Kendo-spreadsheet, and it's actually really cool because it integrates. It's like with Microsoft Excel's spreadsheet, and you can edit, resize columns, calculate formulas. It does pretty much everything, and it's just so easy to like go ahead and include. And if I go, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, and we're gonna get off Gantt because it is, as some of you may or may not know, all of these components are the packages, the npm packages, how things are stored. So we're going to talk about a new chart type that we got. But if you wanted to go ahead and use that chart type, you would install, let me go ahead and show you. You would go to getting started. Let's find it. And you would ng add progress Kendo Angular charts. So the new spreadsheet component is actually off by herself, and she is her own npm package, but she's kind of beefy, similar to like the grid. So it makes sense that she's off by herself. But yes, ng add Kendo-Angular-spreadsheet if you want to get started using that. Of course, if you are using maybe no more modules, or you have feature modules or things like that, the manual setup is always here for you. But yes, I'm going to get into tomorrow. Please, can somebody put up the like ticker or like bang DevReach, or not DevReach? There might be a way to get
Okay.
the link so that
I
you
got it.
can join us. Thank you, Kathryn, tomorrow. Because we'll be going into some more of these features and how to utilize them, and just kind of getting started with this new, beautiful, very feature-rich component. I have, let's see, like I think 5 other things I want to cover. So let's.
You didn't answer my question here.
Did you ask a question? I can't actually see.
Oh,
chat.
okay.
I have what I see is what you see. What I see is what you see is what I'm seeing. Yeah.
I was just thinking that Excel and Word and PowerPoint are so old school, like Ed and me. Are you saying enterprises still need them?
Wait, what? I'm confused on the question. Did you just
Yeah,
call
I'm
Excel
just-
old?
I'm just pulling your leg here.
Are you saying
important.
spreadsheets are old, like old school,
Yeah.
like people don't use them? Oh my gosh, I just like generated like 3 yesterday.
Yeah, because you'll be surprised how much of the world runs on Excel. Yeah. I've seen
It's
massive.
actually a database.
Yeah,
People
it is a
love these
database.
things.
Exactly. I've seen massive enterprises run their entire, some workflows of Excel. I've seen, payroll run off Excel. So it's important.
Oh god, Excel formulas. That's where I start getting blurry-eyed, is with formulas when people
Do you
start.
guys have the Excel export?
So I know
Can
we
you
have the import from Excel so that you can
Mhm.
like import, but let's see. Yes, it looks like
Maybe
export
that's-
as well is
Yeah,
part
okay.
of it. Which is super, super vital. In my opinion, is there another leading spreadsheet outside of the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet? Like, does anybody else like, oh, I swear by this?
No.
No.
Google Sheets, probably.
Oh, Google Sheets. Right. I
For all
often-
3 of you who use it.
What's the Mac one that nobody uses?
There's some. Hang on, let me see.
There's a Mac one.
There's an equivalent for like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint in Mac,
Mhm.
and it's their own thing, and they're all
Apple
really
numbers,
poorly
yeah.
named. Is it
Yeah.
just called Numbers? That's
Oh, it is.
awful.
It's called Numbers. That's right.
It's
And my
numbers.
husband tries to use it all the time, and I'm just like, I cannot. I know.
Yeah, it's like pages, numbers, and
Mhm. Their suite
Oh.
of things. Yes.
Yeah.
And I.
something
Keynote,
Keynote.
yes.
Whoa,
Keynote is
whoa,
not
whoa.
unbearable. Keynote is okay.
Whoa. Keynote is like, there's like was it Excel where they had it was an ESPN. Yeah, I think it was Excel. Hang on. We're gonna pull it up.
What are you talking
ESPN
about?
Excel.
ESPN with Excel?
Uh-huh.
What?
Championship. Oh my gosh.
I have seen this.
Excel's, yes. And they had a championship with like elimination round of like who's good at using Excel. Like it was
Yeah.
insane. And I literally told my husband, I said, if they ever have this for Keynote, I will squish all competition, because I was like raised by Keynote, right? I know all the super secrets, and I'm like a super high, like Keynote I will never
You're
let die.
a Keynote power user.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of my strong suits. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a couple other features before I pass it off to React, and then I'll prep some links for jQuery. But yes, please join Kathryn and I tomorrow. We love the chat is always so kind, full of
We have a
amazing
good time.
questions, and the dev teams are actually there, so they're waiting in the wings to answer questions, whether it's about upcoming features, things that you wish we had, or maybe questions on things that we just released. So it's a really, really good time to get information from the actual developers building this stuff. Trend lines are actually now within our chart elements. If you go, so
we
I'm
got
gonna-
those too.
Did you? Okay, I'm gonna plop
What a fun
this.
time for us.
Everyone,
It sounds
everyone,
like
avert
it
avert
sounds
your
like you're
eyes.
an afterthought. 'Cause, like,
Who's
we
an
have- we have-
afterthought?
What? Which
You
one? Be careful how you answer.
I'm an afterthought.
No. I mean, we got trend lines this release. Like, that
Oh,
was
so
No.
Angular had it before. Now you're getting it.
No, Angular
no.
and
We
React
both got
it.
them together this release.
Mhm.
Well, so sounds like Angular and React are both afterthoughts. Like after we
Yeah, that's
do
probably
things right
actually
in .NET,
true.
then you get it.
I think it's just the
Yeah.
cadence of our devs right now, like we've got a couple components behind, I think, from Telerik, and so we're just one day we'll come out with a component before you.
I don't know.
Also, if I may comment on this, Fool Schnabel, you're not supposed to ask us details. Like, we don't know any of these things we really
What did
talk
Fuel
about.
say?
Like, explain
Pivot
pivot
tables.
tables. So any of the financial chart things, don't
Not my
ask us
job.
questions. Yeah, we don't know anything about those.
Yeah.
We just know
Frankly,
how to render them.
That's above
I'm
my
not
pay
even
grade.
gonna say it's not my job. I'll go so far as to say it's none of my business.
What was the question? Was it about pivot grids, or was he talking about charts with
Just pivot tables.
Pivot tables.
Like pivot tables, candlestick charts, some of those are very, very niche financial things that I have no understanding of.
Oh.
I can tell you we offer a pivot grid, and I've learned more about it than I would care to know.
Pivot grids, like explaining pivot grids to somebody is like asking for the price of an item at a very expensive restaurant that just says like market price. Like if I have to explain it to you, can't afford it type of thing. Like if you don't know what a pivot grid is,
Yes.
we've got a long conversation ahead of us.
I absolutely agree with that. Like because there was another one outside of pivot grid, and I was just like, what is this tool? And they were like, if you don't, like the chat was telling me, they're like, if you have never been cursed with using it, just walk away. Just walk away. Alyssa.
Oh, is this the OLAP cube thing?
And I was just like, I kept looking at it.
Exactly what you were talking about.
And it was never making sense. And they were like, you don't want it to. The pivot grid. Yes, we have had the pivot grid. Do you guys all have it on the Telerik products?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question, because I know Kathryn's going to cover Theme Builder in a minute, and it's just like and we can answer it once we get there. But does Theme Builder work? Do we know what products Theme Builder works with or will work with? Do we
Theme Builder works with all of our web-based libraries.
Web-based, right. Web-based products.
Are you just trying to kick me out of the conversation here? But
yes.
thanks.
Like it's not
do
my
we
fault.
not?
You decided to be different.
Oh, we don't. I mean, like .NET, MAUI, Blazor hybrids, kind of web-based, right?
You can style things. Yeah.
No, was that not? Sam and I were having a conversation, I think, about a Theme Builder, and we were talking about whether it works, or maybe it was Ed. I now can't remember which one of you I was speaking to.
No, it was me. It was me. Yeah.
I was like, but if you ask Alyssa, she'll immediately say, well, if you do it as I am, then you can still use it. And sure enough.
Excellent. Okay, so we got some trend lines. We got some sexy linear ones. We got a scattered linear trend line. Personally, trend lines just make me want to start deleting pieces of data. My husband and I made some graphs recently, and there were outliers that were making the trend line do a certain thing. And I was like, really, I think statistics allows you to just kind of delete the pieces that are super high and super low. And he was like, does it? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be fine if we just start taking out some.
I want to rewind to the part where you guys were just like making charts.
Yeah,
like,
is that like a Saturday evening?
Yeah,
Why are you making charts?
I wouldn't say fun. We're trying. Does anybody know what Turo is?
They were plotting their
they
D20 rolls. That's their Saturday night.
I was scraping in the most manual way. Every developer will hate me for what I was doing. I was going through the website and just like making a spreadsheet of like data off of these cars in our area and like how well I thought they were doing based on different pieces of information. And then he put it into like a scatter plot, and we had this trend line. And I was like, yeah, but those two cars, they could just be, anomalies. Let's delete them and have a better trend line.
Also, charts and graphs are visualization of the data. If you don't like your chart, doesn't mean you can go and clean up your data to make it
I think that's
prettier.
Exactly what they teach in Stats 101. Like, right? Like you can just kind of, because they're outliers. Okay.
Disregard anomalies.
Yeah.
Ooh, this one makes me nauseous. I'm not in love with. There's certain trend lines that I don't support. But maybe your app needs to. But yes, we are going to get into implementing the trend lines. But that is a new feature. There's one other with charts. I think I have it here. Are you all ready? This one's exciting. That's very exciting.
I know what this
is a new chart type. Oh, isn't she beautiful? Now, how does it help us understand life?
What a cool shape. What does it do?
But
Maslow's pyramid
I made a YouTube short about this. And I think, Cindy, is it online right now? I think it is. And it's just about how my neurodiverse brain, there is not a chart out there that makes sense to me. I look at it and I just see the colors and the shapes. And I'm like, what is anyone taking from this? So I'm glad that we support you and your apps, that you can use these, because some client out there somewhere has to be able to grok them. I am not one of those clients, because I'm like, yeah, that's a great triangle. I would I love triangles, right? Like, yeah, but no, I'm very excited about this new chart type. I wonder what that makes us. I want to see how many chart types we have. Good Lord. 10, 11,
I'm having an existential crisis here. Ed,
What?
tell me, we have this in .NET.
You don't have one?
Do
You
we
have
a
no
component
pyramid
you don't
chart?
have?
We do have the pyramid chart.
Do
We
you?
do. Yeah, we just got it though, so I can't brag.
Oh, okay. So for a change, we're not ahead of you.
Ooh, okay. The hover does. The hover does. How do we solve this for mobile? Would you? I guess you just have to print it, right? Like with the label, because there's no, or maybe you tap to like get
You
the
have to
additional information.
Print? Did you say you have to print it?
Yeah, you know, like on the screen.
Oh, on screen, okay.
In the
Don't get me
template.
started on my
You
old
did
man
actually
stories.
just a hard document.
About the time I had to print my company website for the lawyer to review it.
Oh my
Please don't make
God.
me go there.
Oh my
no.
god.
I used to have to do that all the time. I worked in pharmaceutical advertising for many years, and they wanted like printed PDF, and they would take red pens to it.
Wow. Wow.
Been there, done that.
This is
Real
good for
talk.
pyramid schemes, like Fushan
Yeah.
was saying, or the other one I was pointing at is like
Can you flip it upside
Maslow's
down?
hierarchy of needs.
Well, can you make like a
Type
funnel?
can you flip it?
Let's
Can you
see.
flip it?
Do we have?
I
I'm
actually
gonna
don't know
make
the
it.
answer to this.
I don't know. I'm gonna make it smaller, just so I can see
That's
more
always
headers.
how I see
Fixed.
this chart is in like a sales funnel.
Oh, you're not. being
Did I just make this
sarcastic.
click for you?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
That's it. We're
let's
putting
see.
in a feature request live to say make it flip.
Make it
Make it-
flip. I don't. I don't
please
see
put it
that
upside
as
down?
currently. I don't see as one. But please, someone come ask that during the webinar when the devs are there, because I'd love to know if that's like in the works
I
or
want
if
to
no one's
submit
thought of
that
that.
request for all of our components and see which ones they take seriously. Like, can you put the pyramid upside down? Absolutely. Can you put the data grid upside down?
I mean, technically, I could do it with CSS. I don't know if you'd be able to read it, but it would be upside down.
I know. I was like, we could do that for you, but then would it work in all the scenarios with all the other like features it works? That's where it would take a
Come on, man.
minute to like go through and be like, is anything else broken?
Yeah, just like do it on mobile.
Okay, we're gonna go to but yes, come hang out. We're gonna implement that. Oh, and all of our charts, by the way, let me click on this so that you can see it pop in. Have oh, the animation's not there. What the heck? We usually animate it like have sort of like, especially with like Donut, see how she's so funny, but maybe it's something that you can toggle on. I'm gonna have to look into it, but I'll have that answer for you tomorrow. Let me use my multicolored pen. Can you animate pyramid yet? Do you guys know on your end? Can you animate it?
I have no idea.
Ah,
I think I'm going to print it out and then mark it up and fax it to the engineering team.
and your animation will be like on screen animated.
Imagine getting a fax. Like just
Oh my
a period in the sentence.
I was told
Okay.
like within this like last calendar year that I had to fax something to an office, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And they were like, we won't accept it any other way. And I was like,
I saw a video that the only way to get in touch with Dolly Parton is to fax her.
that's how you know you've made it, when you can require faxes only.
I mean, saying you have Dolly Parton's fax numbers got to be a flex somewhere.
Yeah, no, there was, I forget who it was. It was maybe like Miley Cyrus or someone on a late night show, and they were asking if she had Dolly's number, and they were like, "No, absolutely not. Nobody texts Dolly. You have to fax her."
Oh my gosh! So there, you think it's actually serious then?
I believe yes,
Okay,
that you have to fax Dolly Parton.
excellent.
I don't have any actual data to back up on this other than the 30-second clip of a late night show that I scrolled past on TikTok, and I believe it with my whole heart.
Oh, that makes me so happy. There's so much on TikTok that I'm like, wow, did you know this is true? And Zach's like, can you
That's not
can't
true.
you can't just take these things. And I'm like, oh.
That's the thing. There's so much we have to be skeptical about. This feels so harmless that I'm choosing to believe it because
To
it
believe
doesn't
it.
matter and it's
Mhm.
fun and
It
it
is.
brings me joy.
Excellent. I love it. We got to draw this line somewhere,
I
people.
mean, faxing is the only way you can get messages across this flat earth anyway.
I'm pulling up our Moving on.
Everyone just stepped away from that.
Because paper is flat, right?
Oh
so
my
you gotta
God.
have.
I'm pulling up our. I want to see the context. So down here, can you see this? Yes. Okay, I can't.
Birds aren't real.
Okay, but like also I saw a TikTok talking about how like why aren't we freaked out by birds? They're like the only living like super ancient dinosaur, and we're just like, yeah.
Besides
bird.
Sam.
Thanks.
Boo. Okay, context menu is a new thing in the Kendo grid. Kathryn, did you get this, buddy? I wanna.
I don't believe so. We got a really interesting. Are you in the grid? We got a grid wrapper, which might be the same thing, and we're just calling it something different. What does yours do?
Ooh, okay. I want to see the grid wrapper and see. I was trying to like toggle it on and off, but I feel like I'm breaking it. So I'm just going to pull back up our context menu. So it provides a convenient way to apply data processing features to specific rows to the grid component. And it's down if you want to see the actual implementation at the bottom, because you might be up in the top looking through these API bits and it's not there. But again, I'm going to be playing around with it tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. There is some detailed setup and API links suggested. But yeah, is that what yours says, or is it different than?
No, ours is different. It's kind of like a helper that wraps around the grid and provides a little bit of like extra functionality. So it like makes it a little bit easier for folks to use, gives end users different ways to customize. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, could we show us real quick? Because is it just called a grid wrapper?
It's called the grid helper.
Helper? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So
Let me take mine off real quick.
Hold on.
That's so cool.
So yeah, this is what it looks like, and I just give you some little like, right. So it wraps it. You get some built-in features, commonly requested functionality, right? So rather than necessarily having to like do all of that yourself, just a quick way for users.
Can I
to be
see
like,
it in the source? What's it?
Yeah, it just goes. It literally is a wrapper, so it goes around. So you see it here, and then the grid is like inside it. It just like
This is so cool. Do you think we could use it for every feature? Like now it's going to be the spreadsheet wrapper or the PDF export wrapper, right?
I could see that being helpful, especially with some of our like really big components that can get customized in like a whole bunch of ways, you know? So like right here, you can just go ahead and see like in the toolbar settings, it's things like, oh yeah, toggle on the PDF export and the Excel export and like, blah, 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 blah. It's just nice. It's handy.
Oh, that makes me so. Do you want to talk about a couple more React things while you're at it? Because
I'm already over here. So that's a really big one. A couple of them you already stole my thunder on. Like we got the pyramid chart. We got there was one other that you got, the trend lines. We got a new component called the org chart though, which is cute. So I need to know if
like
do the dotnet boys have it?
Yeah, like
Oh, you do?
2 years late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like Android users watching the Apple like release like for their new phone.
No, but
features.
until Apple does it right, it's not right.
I was about to say, so you're telling me that it doesn't work well for .NET and it works really great for React. That's the parallel you're creating here.
You have copy and paste? Oh my god.
Yeah, but we took 2 years so that it won't crash your phone when you use it. So.
It's like Oculus users watching the Apple Vision Pro people.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh no.
I can't wear any of those. They all make me so sick. Just physically
ill.
Yeah.
I have a timeout, Kathryn, for him. Because like I'll play and then like once I start feeling it, I have to stop. But I can get to like 30 minutes or so.
There are games on just the regular old TV, like standard console games that make me motion sick. So.
I spent 3 hours in Star Wars, so I can't say anything.
Well, it also does depend on the game too, I think. I get sicker quicker in certain games. So, but can I see the source real quick on these? I'm curious, like what the chunks look like.
The chunks?
Mm-hmm.
Chunks is one chunk.
Oh.
Just hurl your code out there, huh?
Yeah, it's really just like we throw it all together and we define everything like prop by prop. So this guy doesn't even have any child components. It's really just like, boop, and you pass the data in. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Not tricky.
Oh, another question. You guys have org charts. Do you guys have the grid helper?
What is the grid helper?
We just talked about it.
Kathryn was showing it just now. It like wraps the grid and adds
Oh, so
additional
the wrapper. Okay,
functionality.
okay.
The wrapper, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Do we add?
It's like the coolest thing ever. Is it nestled
don't
under
think
grid,
we-
Kathryn? Is that
What exactly does it give the grid? Because I don't think we need it. Is the
It just
problem.
makes we
Wow,
don't need it.
that's a flex.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we even need it.
It makes it a little bit more user friendly. So yeah, maybe that's not a top priority for y'all.
I think I'm trying to figure out like what extra features it adds though.
It's this little stuff at the top, the like quick action buttons.
For like export and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a search.
We already have-
that's been built
It's
in.
just built. It's just built into the
It's built
templating.
in.
On
We don't
ours.
need a helper. It's built
Yeah,
in.
we have a custom action panel or
Yeah.
whatever it's called, custom action template.
I stay in the
we don't
grid
have any of
helper.
that.
This one's legit.
It's
I like
it must
it.
be
It's
something to
nice.
do with the React framework. It needs it.
Wow.
No, seriously. Like Blazor has like a templating concept built in, and they just take advantage of it. So it's probably something.
It
With
is
like
interesting. I wonder
React
because
hooks or something.
Angular is a very template based language as well, and React is not. That is true. We just kind of slam everything into one file. We just chunk it all in there.
Oh, I'm wondering.
I
Let me
have always
see.
like that. I
Yeah,
don't know if
it's-
that's the reason why this exists, but I'm gonna switch over and I'm talking about design things for like 2 seconds.
Can,
and then
can
hand
I
it back.
can I interrupt for just 1 second for
Please.
another existential question? And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, sure.
Ed's in the same boat as me. What are we missing out by not using Arc, the browser? Like,
Oh my god,
why are you always on Arc?
it's been
I
life
like it.
changing.
I'm looking at their site. It's saying it's the Chrome replacement you've been waiting for, and there's a wait list for the Windows version of Arc. Like, what is it over Chrome
I
that you
don't know.
have?
I don't get it.
It's so.
I like
smooth
the
and nice.
layout better, and it gives you little like I like the layout over here. I like being able to like quick pin bookmarks and put things in folders in a way that's really visible. You can change workspaces like along the bottom, so you can group different things. So like
That's
have
been
different-
super valuable for me because I have so many different projects that I'm working on. And see how it says like she's got like a little bar that says clear. Everything below that bar will self-close in like 24 hours. Everything above that
Whoa.
bar stays pinned. So if you have like, oh, I'm working on this YouTube short, or oh, I'm working on the
Yeah.
release or the DevReach website, whatever the thing is, it's like a really organized, self-contained, and you can have different users within those. So I can swipe to the right. I don't have
I like
to open
the
up like
easels too.
oh, I haven't
use
used
the
those
easels
at
a lot.
all. Legit.
This one's really messy, but I use them a
Seems
lot
great
to
for
like
people that are really organized. That's
like
not
I capture when I'm working on a project, I'll capture like links and then also like visual inspiration and like whatever, and I'll throw it all in an easel, and it's kind of like having like a Fig Jam built into your browser.
So
I-
Edge
Yeah.
has some of these features, but they're buried essentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But plus, look
Yeah.
at Kathryn's screen right now. Like for like screen sharing, for teaching moments, for onstage moments, you
Yeah, I
can't
do
beat that
love-
cleanliness. Like it's just
You
it's
can
just what you're looking at. Done.
Do
The dev mode is really nice
almost
too.
this in Edge. You still have a sidebar though. But yeah, I like the full screen effect. That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board with everything except for the self-destructing thing. Like, don't close my tabs. It's my
I
responsibility
close
to
my
keep
tabs.
1,000
It
tabs
hasn't
open.
even. I've never left them open long enough for them to self-close.
Yeah.
Oh,
can't
really?
tolerate-
No,
I can't tolerate a
I-
lot of tabs open.
I can't. I honestly, Kathryn, can't remember. It's like it doing it for me is like so nice and peaceful.
I declare tab
get that.
bankruptcy like so often.
Well, and Ed, I used to use a Chrome extension that would, at the end of every day, like collapse, save, and categorize my tabs because I had hundreds open. And this has eliminated the need for that because it's all organized. But you're right. It does take organization of like, oh, move this to the DevReach space. Oh, move this to the
Yeah.
release space. So, but
I do like this description of tab management.
Snap and it's gone.
Yeah.
Close 50% of them, see what happens.
do you guys not have things that are like from day to day, from week to week, that you're like, oh, I did 2 minutes on this project and now I'm back out into this and opening my terminal and doing that. Like there's so many things that I'm bounced back and forth between. I just can't Ed,
Just
without the
bookmark them.
organization, I wouldn't ever go back to
So
that
if it's
project.
like a super important thing that I use, it's like a web app, I just pin it like an app. I just
Okay.
go
Yeah.
like spa mode with it.
Okay.
Like StreamYard, for example, is not in my browser. I have accidentally closed it too many times and been like, oops,
me too.
accidentally off the show, guys, bye. So it
Oh,
is now an app pinned to my desktop.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
fair.
I was on a .NET Conf thing like with 3,000 people watching, and I closed it twice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, pin it. It's like a spa. You just pin it to your desktop, and it's Chromeless. There's no, it's the app now.
and Functional, you're right. Safari is the absolute best when it comes to PWAs and iOS features. Like Safari is the absolute best. But yeah, I see the the cleanliness of Arc. Maybe I should give it
Yeah,
a try.
I like the borderless thing. I
Yeah,
still
it was
feel
one
like
of
Edge
those.
is close.
I just
Very
gave it
close.
a shot. Everyone was talking about it. I like to try a new thing, and I did. I enjoyed it, so I've stuck with it.
I think because Kathryn recommended it and I saw her up on stage with it and I was like, God, that's so smooth and clean. So I downloaded it, but I had it open side by side with Chrome, not actually intending to like start using it as a super user. And I never opened Chrome again. It imported everything keychain wise and bookmark wise from Chrome. And it was such an easy transition that I was like, who's Chrome? But it's like, is it running on Chrome? I feel like it is.
Chrome leaks
I mean,
too
it's a
much memory for
Chromium
me.
browser. but
Okay.
it's,
Oh, so it's the same engine.
Yeah.
So same as
But I mean-
Edge. Yeah.
I was gonna say most modern browsers are now. with the
Okay, sorry,
exception
I
of-
totally sidetracked everybody. I know we have 30 minutes left, so I'm going to let us do theme builder stuff now because I.
All right, I want to blitz through it. It'll be real quick. First off, if you didn't know about it, we have design system documentation. It's very cool. It's something that I've learned a bunch of people didn't know about and are still kind of exploring now. But it is super handy. As part of this release, we've added a bunch of new component documentation to this. We are growing this all the time until it has parity with our actual component libraries. And we're getting close, but it takes a little bit of time because each one of these gets a really detailed kind of design-focused breakdown. So kind of stepping through the anatomy of the component and what everything does and positioning and kind of how it can be customized. So looking at it kind of how it would fit into your app. So it is documentation. It's different than the documentation about implementing that is in the technical docs. But really good, especially for teams that have like a designer and a developer that are working together and kind of collaborating on a component and on implementing a design system. This stuff is super handy.
Do you think there's plans to link like in the normal docs to these, like in app bar or in avatar, like to link over to this documentation or?
Yeah, I don't know. We link the other way around.
Oh, okay.
So at the bottom of this, we do link to each of the like framework specific documentation. I don't think that goes both ways at this time.
Okay.
I was looking to see if it was like down here somewhere, but I don't think so. So
I'll just say I sat through. Sorry, Kathryn.
no,
I
go ahead.
I sat through Kathryn explaining our whole design philosophy and what we're doing to an internal audience of 2 hours. It was spot on. So there's a lot of good things we are doing, trying to enable the designer divide, developer divide.
I'm really, actually, very genuinely excited about the approach that we're taking to design and everything that we've created to support it. And we have a whole bunch of resources that are design specific now and can really carry the designers through their side of the journey. And I think that is something that really is a huge differentiator for us, is that we consider the designer side of the journey as much as the developer side, and it takes both. You're not going to make a good app without considering the design and UX side of things. So giving folks the tools they need to do that has been something I'm super hyped about recently. So similarly, we got a very cool update in the theme builder with variants, which Ed and I got to play with a little bit on a call earlier. But there's a little button now in kind of the top corner of each of your components in the theme builder that you can click and make another version of. So like, having multiple types of buttons is incredibly common.
Yeah, this is a cool feature. I love it.
Did we just get rated? Hello, everyone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, from Mr. Fritz. Hello, hello.
Hey, some sharp Fritz.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, everyone.
It's the Fritz and Friends invasion.
If you're just now joining us, we're doing a little release party for our products that have new features and also absolutely random topics that come up. So hello, good to see you all.
One thing that's really cool about this, Kathryn, is you can keep forking like the design, so you can make a variation of a variation. So you can like keep like having duplicates of it. So like, I like this variation, but I want one that's just slightly different.
Yep. It's like a safer way to like modify designs or like to actually play, because then you can be like, I still have this saved, but let's tweak and see if this is going to fix our problem or whatever.
It's kind of like browsers these days.
But yeah, there's a couple different, right? So you could use it to kind of iterate that way if you wanted to. There are lots of ways, of course, to use this just as part of a design system. Most design systems will include, for example, multiple types of buttons, right? A primary kind of confirmation button. Maybe you have a smaller, kind of ghost button or a secondary button of some type that's maybe less prominent. So, when you have that like confirm and cancel, maybe those are two different types of buttons in your app. All of that is now imminently possible, right? Also really great for doing like theming, like dark mode kind of theming. So anyway,
yeah, like if you want to make a Star Wars theme like Kathryn's got.
Man,
so good.
Not rising to it. I'm stronger than this. So
I tried.
Not happening. Nothing has brought more Trek fans to me than this, which has been the best choice. I never knew that I was making at the time, but when I talk about it, people are always like, "Ooh, you like Star Trek?" And then I get to talk about Star Trek for half an hour. So, this has truly been a win-win-win for me. But yeah, that's a couple of the highlights on the React and design side. I've been talking for a little bit, so I'll hand it back off if someone else wants to show off.
Yeah, I think the guys need to hop on the Telerik side.
Yeah, we will. I'm always a little jealous of the web world and then the way you have it nicely separated out, like your design and here's your markup and here's your code. We have never managed to do that for native like desktop or mobile apps. We tried, like Fushnavel was talking in the chat room. So we have different types of markup languages where it's just UI, and then you have different ways to style that UI. There have been tools made so we can separate the two. It's just never worked. It's just always
honestly,
one big mess.
It's one of the hardest parts because I've started learning .NET and I look into things like, because I'm from a web world and I'm like, oh yeah, I grab my CSS and I look into things. I'm like, yeah, but what if I want that to look different? And it's baffling to me that sometimes the answer is no.
No,
and I'm like,
operating system level things. You
and
can't
I'm like,
change them.
Pardon me, and the docs are just like, no. And I'm like,
no.
And you could bring in CSS, but again, it's just a very niche audience. So the way you style most things in the .NET world, UI-wise, is there are layouts, there are styles, setters that are kind of all built in with the framework itself. So you kind of have to know how to do it, and then you have to abstract that out into like a global style that's applicable to certain parts of the app. And then there are tools made to work on those styles, but it's just never been a successful, transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we hear some of your new features? Some of your new.
All right. Ed, do you want me to go?
Can't style, definitely.
Yeah, can't style.
Just give me a few minutes
impossible
to
to
go
style
over
new
my
components.
kitchen sink that I'm working on.
I can go, Ed.
Okay.
I'm not going to show off demos.
At last.
Oh, I've got a demo.
I've been
Got a
recognized.
demo.
Okay. So, who's going? Sam $2 now. Hold on. Where am I? Okay. Hey, Code Sean. Good to see you. What else in the chat room? Yeah, it's in Double Trouble Gang with Kathryn and Alyssa. Yeah. Ed and me are just like falling off the screen here with so much energy.
Let us know if this is true for everyone else. Because I see people, but.
Yeah, I see people
Yeah,
too.
same.
Okay. All right, folks. So here's what Ed and me deal with, the real important stuff, like the enterprise workflows that keep you going. But so although stuff that we do for web, you can see like you can do a lot with JavaScript, and then you can do a lot with .NET. So your choice, whichever stack you have picked for your front end. On the .NET side, Ed's going to talk about all things from Ajax to MVC to Core and Blazor and all the good stuff. We still have Silverlight. Eventually, it's going to be, hopefully you're seeing the writing on the wall and moving away. But this is where I live, a lot of desktop and a lot of mobile. So mobile is Xamarin and Maui. Xamarin you have until next year. Again, official support dying doesn't mean that it's dying, but again, hopefully you are, long live Silverlight. I've done 2 years of professional Silverlight. I need a lot of hugs sometimes. But Maui is the new way to go. Clearly, the future for .NET cross-platform development. So we have been excited. We are helping customers move from Xamarin to Maui. There's a lot that's been written up already. A lot of tools being created. Feature-wise, you have pretty much everything in Maui that you had in Xamarin. And you also have some very, very desktop-friendly things that Xamarin would never have because it wasn't meant for. So a lot of things going on. Desktop world, we have everything from WinForms to WPF to WinUI to UWP.
Why is there like the new tag? Is that because Maui is new, or because you added new things to .NET Maui?
We added new things in here. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like WinUI is not new. And again, based on Alyssa, who you talk to, WinUI and UWP are very dead, or they're going super strong.
No, because like when
with.
I talk to people, they're like, "Oh man, UWP, I like hope to do it for the rest of my life," right? So like that's the sentiment I've gotten.
Yeah, web forms for life. Yep.
So this thing here is 20 plus years old, WinForms. This thing here is 15 years old. That's WPF. And here's the nice part. They both run on the latest, most modern .NET runtime. So that's nice because you can, start bringing over your apps. UW is always living.
If you add them all together, you get Sam's age.
Yeah.
React is 10 years old.
Is it?
11 years old. Yeah, 2013.
Hot dog on a stick.
A dog on a stick?
You might have to explain some of that. But.
It's just the excitement. I don't know what you say when you're excited, but.
Well, I'm going to tell you now I say hot dog on a stick.
Sam, I know you don't want to spoil anything, but I freaking need to know what .NET Maui component
you want to go
got. Like, what did you get? I just want to see like one thing, just like one little.
Yeah, I got a couple of things to show you. So if you go into Maui, so let's go in here. There's always the roadmap. There's what's new. So this page is going to be updated as of midnight of today because the official release where we announce everything, that's coming up tomorrow. Is my internet still up? Yeah, there we go.
Do you have a develop branch?
A what page?
A develop branch? Because like the Angular and the React docs and stuff, they have like a develop branch that like gets that stuff early that like users can like it might change, but like do you have one like that already has that stuff? Okay.
No, all of this is now actually released, so you don't even need to go into the develop branch. So if you are already using our Telerik bits, then you can just sign in here. Like I'm signed out of this browser here, but if you sign in, you're going to see the release bits already live. Or you can just go to the NuGet packages; those are live too. All of the docs are live, but these pages will go live tomorrow. So this is what's new as of last release. But if you look at some of the docs, you'll see what's some of the newer things that we did. So there's a new nav view, which is essentially a hamburger thing, which is heavily used for desktop apps. Nothing wrong. You can also use it for mobile. There's a shell built in. And while Ed is trying to show off his clickety keyboard to let everybody in the internet know that he's typing.
Here, I got him. I got it. I muted him.
Oh, good. So there's a new hamburger menu. This works nicely if you want to reorganize things for your desktop. The shell that's there, the app shell in Maui, it works nicely for mobile, not so much for desktop. So this one is really desktop friendly. It has just much more features that you can use for navigation and hiding and customizing the look and feel of it. So that's new. This one took us a long time to do. So one of the hardest things to do with Maui is we want to be native on iOS and Android and Windows and Mac. So these are very different platforms, and calendar is one of the hardest things to implement.
To like unify, right? Like that's
yeah. So you can go two ways with essentially Maui. So one is if you are okay with the default look and feel of iOS or Android, just roll with Maui, roll with our stuff. Or if you want to do, if you're building the next Facebook, you want everything to look the same, then pick up a design system, make it your own, and then roll your own style. So however you want. But the default is customized for each platform. So last release, we did a whole calendar UI, which is we are overlaying things on top of the calendar for iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac. And now we have the scheduler. This is something we had in Xamarin, but we had to just reinvent and do things right as to how we draw some of the pixels. So this is a brand new UI component that's coming as of tomorrow.
How does it work for specifying? Like, do you just say, I want to use the the Maui scheduler, and then you like plug it in, and then when it's built for Mac, it looks like that. When it's built for Windows, it looks like that.
Yeah,
like,
it's
or
automatic.
do you have to specify
No.
Okay.
You only have to specify if you want to override the default look and feel.
Okay.
Otherwise, it just renders whatever is appropriate for whichever platform you're running on.
Now, is it bad practice to like force the Windows look on Apple users? Because just for spite?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have a brand new scheduler. So anytime you're building anything with appointments on people's calendars, go ahead and use this. It's going to be overlaying on top of your Apple and Android calendars wonderfully. So that's new. We have a few more new things in here. There's a range slider, which we had in UWP and Xamarin and WPF and other desktop thing that's now brought over all the way to Maui. And again, it's customized for each platform. There are a lot of things that we don't talk about, like, for example, the grid is heavily customizable for desktop versus mobile, because it's just very different. So there are things that you will never, ever consider using for mobile. For example, one of the nice things to show you is, if I can find it now, where is this one here? So we are, again, working with our customers to make sure that if you are using Maui to build real desktop apps, which is true for a lot of customers, Alyssa, here's a question we get a lot. Like, I am starting a greenfield desktop app today. What should I use? So that really depends. Like, do you have any prior expertise in WPF, or are you already doing WinUI or UWP and so on? Then that answer might be different. But if you ask me, like, if you have never done any desktop development with .NET and you're starting fresh today, use .NET Maui. So that's my answer. And that's the answer I think Microsoft folks will give you as well. So we have to be really conscious of the fact that there are some very serious enterprise desktop apps being written with Maui. So along with it comes very specific needs for UI components to be touch and keyboard and mouse friendly. So that's all we have been up to. So a lot of desktop enhancements across grids and charts and heavy hitting controls. What's the chat room saying? Oh, you were off track with Chicago pizza. Is this Ed talking about food again? Blazor hybrid. So Navam, that's a good question, and we have been on this journey. I don't know if this has been a very popular page, but I don't know if everybody here knows about it. So let's just go over to Blazor here for a second. I know Ed's going to talk about it, but right up here, you have a whole new tab called Blazor Hybrid. This is the whole story of bringing Blazor into desktop and mobile apps. So everything that you see from our Blazor suite, everything that Ed covers, all of our Blazor UI components, like 120 plus components, they all work seamlessly on Maui. And that's a claim that we do not take very lightly because, again, we have official support for it. So if you're running into things, we will stand by you. So everything that you see from Blazor, all of our Blazor UI components work seamlessly. I don't know who that guy is.
When you say Blazor hybrid, can you define that? Because there's I know Ed's going to be giving a talk next week at DevReach about the different options with Blazor. And there's things like Blazor PWA. Like, when you say Blazor hybrid, do you mean a Blazor Maui hybrid app?
Yeah. Hybrid is kind of a very overused word. So you can bring Blazor to desktop or to mobile in multiple ways. You can do Electron, you can do PWA, but Microsoft is sticking to the word Blazor hybrid to mean essentially Blazor done on top of .NET MAUI. So you're rendering Blazor UI components and styles just on an app that's already bootstrapped with .NET MAUI. So you have all of the platform benefits and it's running local. So that's what it means. And moving forward with .NET 9, I know we're not even out with .NET 8 yet. That comes out in November. There's going to be a big push for MAUI hybrid, which is essentially something that Alyssa, you and me have talked about for ages. Bringing Angular and bringing React and Vue and pretty much any web component to .NET MAUI. So that's what MAUI hybrid is essentially going to enable, be able to seamlessly render all of your React components, all of your Angular components on a MAUI canvas, because we essentially have a giant web view, which we are borrowing from Chrome. So it's happy to render anything. It doesn't care. The nice thing with Blazor is Blazor and .NET MAUI have the same exact runtime. So we can share code. We can call into each other that much easier. The moment you talk to JavaScript, there is a need for interop because JavaScript and .NET don't like to talk to each other unless you have a nice bridge. So that's what we're going to enable. All right, I just went on a 2-minute spiel on Blazor hybrid. Ed, did I miss out saying anything?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So yeah, Blazor hybrid story, that's going strong. On the desktop side, you're going to see us bring some of the things that we did with WPF last release just over to WinForms. And again, this kind of speaks to like how important these desktop technologies are. You just think about it, like our WinForms suite has been out there for 20 years, and we are still adding new components to it because enterprise customers are using it, and it's very productive for developers. So who are we to stand in the way, or Microsoft for that matter? It runs your business. It's not legacy. It's real. It's present day for you. So WPF gets a whole bunch of things. You kind of see this trend all over MAUI and Blazor and other UI components everywhere. SVG is the thing because it's very suitable for being rendered on whatever size you need, preserving the fidelity that you want. So you're going to see SVG everywhere in our WPF suite. We do have some very nicely built-in demo examples or sample apps that come with the suite. So all of those have been redone. So anywhere you're going to see us use icons or any type of graphics, it's SVG driven nowadays. So that's a trend that you see pretty much everywhere. What else? So WPF gets a new highlight text block, which I'm still trying to fiddle with some of these demos, trying to understand what exactly are the things that we enable. But this one here allows you to highlight parts of the whole text that it displays. So if you're doing like a search, think about it where you do a search and you have a big piece of text, maybe in a rich text box, or maybe just a PDF view or whatever. You are just wanting to highlight the things that you found a hit on. This is the kind of UI that's going to enable you to do that. So that's new. There's a now moving over to WinForms actually from WPF. These are some things we did with WPF last release. We are just bringing them over to WinForms now. So there are two controls that kind of go hand in hand. There's a slide view, which is essentially like these two things at each end, like a carousel, so you can go left and right. Along with it, you get what's called like a pips viewer, which is essentially the rotating, the container part of the carousel, so you can host whatever you want. This one doesn't really show much, but this is the thing at the bottom, which shows you how many things you have in that container, and you can just switch between that. So easy ways to do like a wizard type UI layout, or anytime you have a list of prominent things that you want to show at the top of the app. So use the pips, use the slide viewer. They're all there for you. This is also something we did with WPF last release. We're just bringing it over. This will be not something you see a lot with web apps, but desktop apps. Since you are running locally, there's a lot of integration on the platform level. So you can trigger things from your app to say, give the user a notification even when the app is not running at a certain specific time, or when a certain job finishes. it's like a notification system that's integrated inside of the Windows or the Mac, dock. So you get a notification when something happens, even when your app is not running. So very desktop friendly things. So we had it for WPF. Now we are bringing it over to WinForms. So overall, that's kind of the gist of it. So we are trying to enable you to build modern desktop apps however you want with WinForms, WPF, UWP, WinUI, or .NET MAUI if you want to live on the bleeding edge. And then Blazor is very welcome. You are going to see with .NET 9 that Angular, React, and other web things are also very welcome. There's nothing holding you back from doing it right now, but your support and your tooling is going to get much better with .NET 9. So that's about it.
Do we have any Blazor bits, Ed, you can share with us?
We do. So I've got something I've been playing with. It's kind of interesting. Let me try to share this window here real quick. All right. So let me move this off so I don't get a hollow mirror effect. This is an ASP.NET app. And one of the things that I think we tend to forget about is that Blazor is ASP.NET and MVC is ASP.NET and Razor Pages is ASP.NET. So in this little sample app, I have an MVC view that is displaying Blazor components, and I can also navigate to Razor components. So it's like you can mix all of these things together, guys. Like if you're migrating from different .NET technologies and you really want to take advantage of Blazor, you can start adding Blazor to your existing MVC or Razor Pages app and include routing and everything. It's all ASP.NET. It all works together. Even SignalR, you could put that in there too. So just this one page has like at least two of those technologies being used at the same time. So I've got a Razor view with a the obligatory counter component on it, but also our brand new Blazor trend line chart. So that's added to the page. And this is a Kendo UI date picker. So technically Kendo UI. It's the Telerik UI for ASP.NET Core MVC date picker, but it's built on Kendo UI. So that is also on the same page. And I can route to these components as well using Blazor. And let's see here. We've got, if we go to chart directly, that's a Razor page or a Razor component that has navigation. So I've routed directly to a Razor component. And then if we wanted to use Razor Pages, we could do that too. And I've got the brand new Razor the pyramid chart being displayed on a Razor Pages page using Telerik UI for ASP.NET Core. So you can mix all of these things together and have a nice migration story. Especially if you're a DevCraft user and you have access to all these different libraries and you want to kind of move between them. It's super easy with ASP.NET.
So if I can just quickly inject here, Kathryn and Alyssa, if you're wondering, what is the difference? Like, why are all these terms that are being thrown around? What exactly is Ed mixing and matching? It's just 20 years of web dev on the .NET stack. It's just, a lot of evolution that, people invested in. And now not everything has moved on to Blazor. And maybe you take a, bite-sized approach to to modernization. So the cool new things can coexist nicely on the same page with the old and rusty things as well.
Yeah, so I've got I'm trying to remember how to do the little arrow thing in here. There we go. I've got a Razor component in counter Razor, and I've got that. I think that's.
We don't see your arrow, by the way, buddy.
Oh, it's not drawing on the screen?
No.
Oh no. Oh, I see what's going on.
Had it be on a Mac, it would be a different story.
No, I'm trying. I shared the app, not the screen. That's what I did. So this was a user error thing. So in the app, there is your index CSHTML. So you've got a Razor view, and then you've got a Razor component, which is Blazor, essentially. And there's my trend line. that I've got there. So I can use the trendline component as a page and navigate to it directly, and it's all Blazor. Or I can use MVC, and I can mix Razor components in. So if I go to my index page, you could see I have this component tag that I can render my Blazor components with. So I can drop that trendline chart right in there, and I can even decide if I want to render that on the server or if I want to render it client-side with WebAssembly. So I have those options in .NET 8. And I could also have Razor pages. So I have this pyramid chart CSHTML file, which is a Razor page, which is Razor pages, if you're not familiar, is like an all-in-one kind of a web API controller / view in a single feature. So I can do that as well. And you can even drop Blazor components inside of this Razor pages view. So they all coexist together, and you can work with them in the same project. And it gives you a nice path if you're interested in trying out some Blazor in your product, and you don't want to just rewrite the whole thing from scratch, and you just want to add a couple Blazor features to the app and see how it goes before you kind of start migrating over. So that is part of the ASP.NET ecosystem. And of course, we support the new version of .NET in this next release. We support .NET 8 Release Candidate 2. And there's a lot of nice new features with Blazor with static rendering, server-side rendering, and WebAssembly. And again, you can start moving over to this stuff in .NET 8 piece at a time. It's pretty cool. But if you want to see some of the brand new components that we have in all of the DevCraft libraries, make sure you check us out with the webinar next or tomorrow, right?
And to answer Kathryn's question about the pyramid, if I take that Blazor UI and if I render that inside of a .NET MAUI app, you can just flip your phone. It's responsive to flips, and then it'll flip.
I mean, we could go in and try to rotate the using CSS, but I think the text is going to be all backwards.
I was going to say, it'll just flip the text upside down. I can flip it. I was just teasing you.
I want to try to flip it just to say we flipped it.
I need to know. Every marketer making a sales funnel diagram will thank us.
And
no one else
check
will.
Out any of this
It'll
stuff,
just
you
be
go to
up there.
demos.telerik.com and try to flip it yourself. Because we do have REPLs for these things. If you go to Telerik UI for ASP.NET Core and check out the brand new pyramid chart, you can play with it live inside the browser. If you do edit in Telerik REPL, you can actually the link does not work, so don't take my word for it. Oh,
It'll work tomorrow.
There it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was stalling out for some reason. But you can run it right in the browser, and that doesn't work. So
Flip the pyramid challenge
live
with the
demo
discounted DevReach ticket as the as the prize.
I think we need to update our REPL with the new bits. It doesn't have the chart yet, the pyramid chart.
You know who doesn't have a REPL? Like, I see all of this, and I'm like, I don't have a REPL. I can't have a REPL because
it's hard to do that with mobile dev, Sam.
Yeah,
that's why the web always wins.
No.
The web always wins. We've got REPLs for Blazor. So if you want to try out the new trendline chart, you can open and edit that one. I know this one will work because the Telerik REPL for Blazor is top notch. There we go. Yeah, so if you want to get in and play with that one, you just go right into the browser. This is nice, Kathryn, because you don't have to install .NET on your machine, because I know you don't want to.
I'm not doing that.
.NET.
Yeah, no, sorry.
But you can totally come here and check out all the Blazor that you want without installing anything.
Hold on while I install Xcode. It's just a 12 gigabyte download.
See, Kathryn, it's like this is the first one's free. You just go to the REPL for Blazor and you try it. You just try it.
I saw what happens. It's a whole slippery slope, and then all of a sudden you're a JS girl in a .NET world.
See, it's very, intentional. You can be a JavaScript person in a .NET world, but we cannot have HTML or CSS people in the .NET world.
That's
We
nice.
cannot
That's the
have-
only good part of the JavaScript bits.
Well, we cannot have design people in the .NET world. It's just
I do
Not who we
want
are.
to show one of these. Like, one thing I love is when we get to do one of these webinars and there is a component that we just shipped that is something that I had to build a million times, like, and just grit my teeth doing it. But we have this new drill down chart. I don't know if any of you had to build these things in the wild, but I had to do this in the .NET WinForm web forms days. And we bought some cheap charting utility before we got our Telerik license. And I had to add on all of these features because it wasn't part of the charting package. But yeah, to make my old man story short, you can just install our drill down chart now, and you can do this without having to write all of the code yourself. But basically you can click on the charting bars here and drill down, and then there's a nice breadcrumb component at the top that lets you drill back to the top level. Like I
We
spent
got those in
months
React
building
this
something
release.
like this. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, about 15 years ago, I was building this for a financial services team that I worked on at my old job, and here it is, just shipping. Like, just download it and use it. It's just there, like Kathryn said. It's just there. Just use it.
It's just there.
It just makes productivity so much easier.
It speeds everything up. It really does.
Yeah.
Especially, I think, the animations, because that's one of those things that I think makes an app like 1,000 more times like polished and finished, and I have to like slog through the animation libraries. If you're not doing something that's like custom and fun, like a big illustrative animation, then adding like fade-ins on everything is just really tedious.
So I remember working on this project, Kathryn, and like I got the drill down working, and I was so happy. I was like, now I'm gonna add like some nice, like polish to this, and I made the charts 3D and added nice color and just made everything just pop. And they came back and they're like, yeah, don't do that. We just want one color. We want it 2D, and it's either red or it's green. That's the only colors we're allowing here. Like, okay.
I love that. It just completely isolating everyone with color blindness. Red or green.
Yeah. Like they're like 3D is not going to happen.
Bam.
Like all that 3D stuff you did, just no.
Yeah, animations are hard. They are particularly hard on mobile because you don't want to do too much because then you eat through battery and performance sucks. There's some libraries that help us, but if anything is built in, that's really a big bonus.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a brand new feature in this release. I love it. This is something I think a lot of our financial services folks will appreciate.
As long as they don't ask us questions about what the charts mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of our charts are just like really generic examples, which always cracks me up. It's just like the title is just like sales.
Like a waterfall chart. Like, what is this? I don't know. I don't know. It's cash flow. That's what
Then
it is.
there's candlestick. Then the favorite, like the OLAP cube charts. Just don't ask us questions.
We don't talk about the OLAP cube. It's banned in this
So
chat.
a waterfall chart is the vertical version of a horizontal waterfall chart. That's what I know.
Yeah, which do you think came first, the waterfall chart or the horizontal waterfall chart?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the waterfall chart.
Oh no, horizontal for sure.
Just by naming conventions alone, I think you're wrong.
I think if you do this, it's a bar chart.
Although this is the same
What
country
was
that
that?
makes sweet tea, so.
Yeah, like you take the waterfall chart that's horizontal and you go like for.
Yeah, but it starts like,
Oh yeah.
if it doesn't all start at the bottom, it can't be a bar chart.
So,
Okay, yeah.
Foolish Neville, our engineers do know the needs, except not us, like not the four of us. The ones who build the actual charts, they know exactly what the FinServe, customers need, just not us. We can't explain these things very well. Like
I mean,
OHLC
this is
chart.
totally clear for me.
Yeah.
I know exactly what this means.
Yes.
I have no idea what this means.
Love an Ulk chart.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, a lot of things to unpack over the next 3 days of webinars. And this is just the four of us getting together to have a friendly banter about who gets things first. But it's a lot for all developers and designers this release. Hopefully, you can take that away that we are here to enable all of you to be successful.
And we've got DevReach just next week.
Mm-hmm.
This time next week, folks, we will be in Bulgaria. Do you realize that? Do you guys understand the gravity of the situation here?
I'm well aware of the gravity.
Oh no. Every time I think about it, it's going to throw up a little bit. I'm not ready. I'm not packed.
Start
International
practicing.
travel stresses me out. I know you guys are all pros.
Start practicing your Bulgarian, folks.
Yeah. Talk to me about packing and laundry like Saturday night or Sunday mid-morning. Yeah. And then Kathryn, you haven't actually been there, right? So it's your first time?
Yeah, this will be my first time.
Yeah, it's really fun to hang out with the engineering team. We have a beautiful office in Sofia. The sixth floor balcony just looks out over to the Vitosha Mountains, and if you look out, at sunset, it's just beautiful to just spend time there. And there are amazing pool tables and ping pong tables up in the game room. So that's where I spend most of my time.
That's good. We're due a ping pong rematch. So that's on.
I was trying to teach my wife a couple Bulgarian phrases. It was not going well.
Teach
but
some to us
I
in the
did
chat.
find one.
Yeah. I was like, you should definitely spread that knowledge.
Yeah,
I did
give us
find
a
one
couple.
that worked. She wants to go to the zoo, and I was like, I can teach you to say zoo in Bulgaria. No problem. She's like, what is it? I was like, zoo.
Excellent.
Well done.
There's your first lesson.
Educated. Do you know a little Bulgarian, Ed? Is that true?
I know a very little bit. Yeah, I can order a coffee. I can say "Mojele Cafe Molia," which is I'd like coffee, please. If Cindy's still here, she can correct me on that if I'm right or wrong. I could say hello, goodbye. I know a couple phrases here. I can do the food stuff a little bit, like little bit of food. I can order some food. That's where you really need it, right? You don't want to.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe sign us off. Say goodbye to everyone in Bulgarian.
Dvizdene. There you go.
That's pretty good,
Goodbye.
actually. Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you throughout the rest of the week for the official release webinars. I will ditch my hat and put on some gel for the 3 pieces of hair that I have left. And we'll recap everything that we
You could
just
also
talked
say
about.
"do scoro," which is see you soon.
You score?
All right, folks. Thank you for your time. Hopefully this was fun, and we'll see you around on the next stream. And please do come and see us for the release webinars.
See if I got any of that right. Like there'll be a lot of emails in my inbox after people watch that. Like they'll be like, none of that was true. None of that was real.
All right. I am getting hungry. I will go have
Let's
my
sign up.
lunch. Yep.
See y'all.
All right, folks. Bye-bye.